Good morning. Today we are talking sunshine and warm temperatures again, especially in the Southern Valley, where we're expecting to get into the 70s this afternoon with some mostly sunny skies. You can see that we do have some clouds overhead right now in Fargo, and we'll have that from time to time as well, especially into the afternoon hours as some clouds are streaming in with a cold front that will be moving through. We're looking at some 70s this afternoon for Fargo, but up north it might not be quite as warm. Not bad though. We'll just end up in the 60s there. And we're starting in the north with some cloud cover and some places where we have some showers up in northwestern parts of our viewing area by Devil's Lake. And then back over to the east too, we've been watching some rain that's really been starting to fizzle out as it moves eastward here this morning in northwest Minnesota. So look at our temperatures. They're pretty mild to begin today. We're in the 40s to some low 50s. 53 in Fargo. It's 51 in Grand Forks. We've got lighter wind with one gust in Langdon at 24 miles per hour. And you can see the wind is starting to shift to a northerly direction there. And that's where what we'll see as this cloud deck and the front with it do move southward. We'll see that wind pick up briefly and the wind turning northerly for today, but it shouldn't bring about too much change other than some slightly cooler temperatures up north. We've got more warmth on the way and more chances for rain, even some thunderstorms too. More details on that coming up in just a little bit, but we want to check in now at the Valley Today's Al Ahmet for a traffic update.
Morning, Lisa. Good morning, everyone. We're in Moorhead. Got over here on Interstate 94. Want to remind you again about that stalled car we have on eastbound Interstate 94 between Vets and 45th, right near the Vets or the 45th Street overpass. Make sure you're looking out for it. No lights, no flashers. Out here on in Moorhead this morning, traffic on Main Avenue fairly active. 8th Street is relatively busy this morning. Kind of like the morning's just kind of getting going, but there's all kinds of traffic activity out here as well. Construction, we have a couple of major construction projects impacting traffic movement in downtown Fargo. One of them, of course, is one that we've been telling you about on the news, the railroad underpass at Main and 20th/21st Street. So that's a major issue there. Make sure that you're dealing with that. And then on Center Avenue, where we lose a lane in each direction between 4th and 8th Streets, and then the Center Avenue Bridge, of course, is closed into Fargo. Otherwise, things are looking pretty good this morning. Traffic seems to be moving well. We're going to head over to South Fargo, check things there. We'll get back with you here in 10 or so. Al Ahmet, Valley Today Traffic. And what day is today? It's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday at Taco John. So lay the day.
It's now 6:33. We've heard a lot of complaints from homeowners about how this spring's road construction is impacting their neighborhoods. And now we're hearing from businesses with similar gripes. One Fargo shop owner who's stuck in the middle of 52nd Avenue South road work made signs to direct people to her business, but they disappeared last week. And she says the city keeps pointing the finger at everyone else.
When I called, I kept getting transferred. And basically what I was told was that the signs are not allowed, and that when they come and they do yard work, they collect them and they throw them in the garbage.
We reached out to 6 different agencies who do lawn work in that area, and they all say they didn't do any mowing last week. The city of Fargo tells us they're going to put signs up to direct people to businesses in the area, but they can't fit all of the business names on the sign, so the sign will simply direct people to Commerce on 52nd Avenue. The state of Minnesota is piling on to a massive lawsuit that's taking a stand against high prescription costs by suing drug makers over the prices of more than 100 generic prescription medications. Attorney General Keith Ellison announced yesterday that the state is joining 42 other states in the lawsuit. It claims that between 2013 and 2015, 20 drug makers fixed prices for medications that treat illnesses like cancer, diabetes, and high blood pressure. In 2016, Minnesota joined another lawsuit against generic drug makers for similar claims. North Dakota lawmakers will not be called into special session to deal with legislation that limits the powers of the state auditor. Legislative leaders met with Auditor Josh Gallion yesterday to go over whether the auditor's office needs lawmakers' permission to conduct performance audits. It was agreed that any issues can be solved before the legislature meets again in 2021, and Gallion says he intends to do business as usual. He has asked for an attorney general's opinion on how the legislation will affect his office. The Justice Department has ordered a review of the investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election. Last night, U.S. Attorney General William Barr appointed Connecticut U.S. Attorney John Durham to oversee an inquiry into the origins of the probe. A source familiar with the investigation says he will focus on whether the intelligence gathering activities directed at the Trump campaign were lawful and appropriate. Prosecutors are recommending a 4-month prison sentence for actress Felicity Huffman, who pleaded guilty yesterday for her role in a college admissions cheating scandal. The Desperate Housewives star admits to paying a $15,000 bribe to ensure that her daughter got a high SAT score. The gyms are packed this time of the year because of swimsuit season looming. The Valley Today's Abby Furchner joins us live this morning from EHP CrossFit to help us out. Good morning, Abby.
Good morning, Lisa. I'm here with Carla Wolford, who is the EHP CrossFit owner, and it is that time of year where everyone's trying to get ready for swimsuit season. But one thing that you want to make sure you're doing at the gym to get those results is mixing it up.
Definitely. We like to go and have people move through a variety of different movements every day. So we usually like a hinge type movement, which is some sort of deadlift. We usually incorporate some other lower extremity, such as the squat or the lunge, some sort of overhead pressing, and then lastly, a pulling movement.
And you're going to demonstrate some of those for us. I will try my best as I can with a microphone in hand. And so what is, a proper hinge form?
So a hinge is a movement that's done at the hips. So we don't really want any other movement other than the hips. So if we put a slight bend in our knees and then we send our butt back, we really want to just work on that hinge from our hips.
Even with no weights, you can definitely feel that in the hamstrings.
You can, because you can actually create your own tension in your hamstrings when you do that movement.
Okay, and then a press. This can kind of be fun because you can mix this up with a couple different movements.
Yeah, so the first movement, we're just going to do a straight up strict press. A variation would be a bench press or an incline press. So literally just pressing straight up overhead. But then we can mix it up into like a lunge and press. So if we do a reverse lunge. Woo.
And then a press.
Correct.
So how do we do that, and what kind of materials do we need?
So the press is what we just did, but the pulling movement that we can get to is, so if you're able to do pull-ups, simply...
Oh, she's going to show off now for this part. Okay, so if you can do a pull-up, but you can also use these, and we don't have enough time to show them, but you can use these type of bands, or just go for it and try to do a pull-up if you're brave enough.
Oh my goodness, that was impressive. I can't do a pull-up either. Abby Furchner reporting live for us this morning. Thank you. A bizarre car crash involving power poles and an electric box seriously injures a North Dakota man. We'll tell you how his drive through town went wrong coming up on the Valley Today.
And up next, we have some beautiful weather this week, but also chances for some rain, especially as we head toward the weekend. We'll have more on that forecast coming up right after this.
You're watching Valley News Live on TV, online, and on the go. Always on, wherever you are, whenever you need to know. Valley News.